Sometimes I feel like my range time just isn't making me any better. And it might not be my swing. It's how I'm practicing. I used to come out here, go to the range, dump a bunch of balls down, hit driver after driver, maybe bounce between clubs a couple times, maybe pick different targets. Eventually, I catch a couple good shots, and I do what we all do at some point. Oh yeah, I figured it out, boys. But I did not figure it out. And for a long time, I blamed everything else. My swing, my equipment, the course. But the older I've gotten, the more honest I've had to become with myself. It was never about any of that. It was how I was practicing. So I started paying attention to it, and I realized there were 6 things I needed to do to actually make practice work. Now I'm going to walk through each one of those, but it's the last one that brought it all together for me. Because this is what clicked for me. We all know this. Golf is a physical game, but it's equally a mental game. But when I go to the range, I only make time for one of those. I just hit balls, smash a bucket, and call that practice. But if I actually want results, I have to practice both. I was walking to the first tee with the wrong version of my swing every single time. And these mistakes that I was making, there's a good chance you've been making them too. So here's exactly what I'm gonna do to change that. 1, intent. I used to try to fix everything all at once. Grip, takeaway, face, path, and that doesn't work. I don't think it's effective to practice everything all at once. If everything is important, then nothing is important. So now I pick one thing. But the funny thing is, that makes it easier, not harder. The golf swing is so connected. If I improve one piece of it, all the other things start to improve with it. So today might just be about wrist hinge or swing path, and I let everything else be what it is, imperfect. The second thing, getting feedback. I used to practice based off of time and energy. How many balls did I hit? How hard? How far? But that's not really practice. That's just activity. If I'm not measuring something, then I'm just guessing. Guessing won't make me better. Real data, real experience, real understanding will. Because you can't manage what you don't measure. So now, whatever I'm working on, I match it with something that gives me immediate feedback. If it's path, I'll use a stick. If it's wrist hinge, I'll use a towel, a connection ball. I'll film swings and actually look at them for what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. Something, anything that tells me what actually happened, not what I think happened. And even when I started doing this, it still didn't show up on the course. And this is what I started realizing about how I practiced. I didn't have structure. Real improvement needs focus, feedback, repetition, and pressure. I had none of that. Even when I added feedback, I never created a loop. I just kept hitting balls. And that brings us to the third principle. Slow down the process. I needed to be more intentional about what outcome I wanted. If I can't do it slow, I can't control anything. And when I was just swinging at balls, I wasn't focused, I couldn't trust the feedback, and I definitely couldn't repeat anything. So I slowed everything down. Not just my swing, but my thinking. And I started being deliberate about my practice. Half swings, pauses, a full routine before hitting every ball. Things that forced me into better, slower movements. And this is where I actually started learning something about my swing. And that brings us to the fourth thing. Practice how you play by adding pressure. This is where my practice process really started to change. The course asks you to execute. It demands something from you. It puts obstacles in your way. My practice didn't. If there's no consequence, then I don't actually have to perform. And if I don't have to perform, how can I expect to improve? So I added some practice pressures. 3 clean strikes in a row or you start over. Pick a fairway, count the balls that stay in play. Force yourself to play one ball at a time with a full swing routine every time. Practice shot shaping. Commit to different shots. Gamify your practice. to make it fun and to give it more purpose. When I did that, that's when it stopped being frustrating and I started getting confident. The fifth thing, track your progress. I used to leave the range having learned nothing new and only remembering the bad. I'd leave with just a feeling, sometimes good, sometimes frustrating, but nothing I could actually use to figure out how to get better. So now I try to leave with something real. I want proof that my practice meant something. So I set up a practical system to track some metrics. I'll set a lateral dispersion area and count what stays in play. I'll track and log my miss patterns. I'll use foot spray to check the contact on my club face. Those 3 things alone gave me a ton of information about my swing. Using that to visualize or understand what my swing was gonna do when I took it on the course. Number 6, it's time to level up and get ready to play. This was by far the biggest one for me. And it's the one that I never even thought about. I used to leave the range in the middle of still trying to fix things. And I'd walk straight to the tee box. And when I did that, I brought all of it with me. The habits, the frustrations, the doubt. So now I'm trying to create a break, a buffer between my practice and my playtime. Before round, the last 10 to 15 balls of practice, no swing thoughts, just me and golf. Pick a target, go through my routine, make a swing. This is where I stop practicing, I flip a switch, and I start playing. And I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm learning what my swing looks like that day, the good and the bad, so that I can manage it when I get on the course. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good. So I learned that I didn't need more practice. I needed better practice. I needed to practice with purpose. So now my goal is to leave the range with something real, new information about my game, and a better understanding of what I'll be bringing to the course. Some days it's good, some days it's not. But when I know what it is, at least I can manage it instead of letting it surprise me. So if you're putting in the time and you're not seeing any improvements show up on the course, don't blame just your swing. You probably just aren't practicing with purpose. These 6 things helped me rethink how I practice. And now when I get on the course, I'm not guessing anymore. If you've got something in your practice that actually works, drop it in the comments below. I'm always looking for better ways to do this.